Researchers at the University of Minnesota followed children for years, watching who made friends easily and who spent recess alone. And what they found had almost nothing to do with how likable a child was. It had almost nothing to do with confidence. It had almost nothing to do with looks or humor or how outgoing a child seemed at home. It came down to one skill, a skill so specific, so learnable, that a child who did not have it could be taught it in a matter of weeks. Most parents have never heard of it, and in the next few minutes I'm going to show you exactly what that skill is and exactly how to build it in your own child, starting tonight. Most of this research sits in journals that parents never read, buried behind paywalls written for other researchers, not for the mother standing at pickup wondering why her son eats lunch alone again. Today I am going to translate it into something you can actually use, not theory, not vague advice like encourage your child to be friendly, something specific, something you could try tonight and see the beginning of a difference by next week. Here is what the research actually shows and what to do with it. The researchers set out to answer a simple question: why do some children make friends almost effortlessly, while others, children who are kind, funny, perfectly likable at home, struggle to be included at school? Their first theory was confidence. Surely the outgoing children, the ones who spoke first, would be the ones with the most friends. They expected confidence. What they found was something else entirely. The children who made friends fastest were not the loudest. They were the ones who could accurately read what another child needed in a specific social moment and adjust their own behavior to meet it. Psychologists call this social perspective taking. In plain English, the ability to notice what someone else is feeling and respond to it in real time. One researcher on the team put it simply: we kept expecting to find a personality trait. What we found instead was a skill, and skills can be taught. That single sentence changed how an entire field thought about childhood friendship. Because a skill is not something a child either has or does not have, a skill is something a child can be shown, practiced, and built, the same way you would teach them to ride a bike or tie their shoes. If your child is between 6 and 12 years old, they are living inside the exact window where this skill is being formed or quietly failing to form. This is the age where friendship stops being about proximity, sitting next to someone, and starts being about connection. Reading a friend's mood, noticing when someone is left out, adjusting a joke that landed wrong. Ask yourself this. Think back to this past week. Was there a moment your child came home upset about a friend and you were not entirely sure what actually happened? A misunderstanding at recess. A joke that hurt more than it should have. A friend group that suddenly felt different. That confusion is often the exact skill gap the researchers were describing. A child who has not yet learned to read a social moment accurately and adjust in time. Most parents, when their child struggles socially, do one of two things. They either tell the child to just be yourself, which offers no actual tool, or they step in and manage the friendship directly, arranging playdates, texting other parents, smoothing every conflict before the child has to. Both come from love. Neither builds the skill. Samuel was 9 years old, kind, funny at home, but at school he would tell his mother the same thing every afternoon. Nobody wanted to play. His mother, Sandra, did what most parents do. She called another mom, arranged a play date, hoped it would fix itself. It did not fix itself, because the play date could not teach Samuel what to notice or what to do differently the next time he was standing at the edge of a group. The instinct that feels most like love, stepping in, smoothing it over, is often the one that works against what the research shows. The research points to 3 specific components, not personality changes, not big interventions, small teachable moves. The first component is narrating the unseen. In plain English, helping your child notice things they are currently missing in a social moment. This looks like after school asking not, "How was your day?" but something sharper. "Did you notice anyone who looked left out today?" This trains the exact muscle the researchers identified, the habit of scanning for another person's emotional state rather than only their own. The second component is rehearsing the repair. What it means: teaching your child specific language for when a social moment goes wrong, because friendship is not built on never making mistakes. It is built on how quickly a mistake is repaired. This looks like practicing an actual sentence together at home. I did not mean that the way it sounded. Can we start over? Until it comes out naturally, not stiffly. This works because children who can repair a rupture quickly are the ones other children keep choosing to sit with. A researcher on the study said it this way: confidence attracts attention, repair keeps friendship. The third component is one small entry line. What it means: most children do not struggle to be liked once they are in a conversation. They struggle to start one. This looks like giving your child one simple, low-risk opening line to use at recess. Can I sit here? Or what are you playing? Practiced until it feels automatic, not risky. This works because the research found the barrier to friendship was rarely rejection, it was hesitation at the entry point. Two mistakes show up almost every time a parent starts trying this. The first is turning it into a lecture. If narrating the unseen becomes a nightly interrogation: did you talk to anyone today? Did you make a friend today? The child shuts down. It has to feel like curiosity, not a performance review. The second is rescuing too soon. If your child tries the entry line once, gets a lukewarm response, and you immediately step in to fix it, you have taught them the skill does not work, when really it simply had not been practiced enough yet. Sandra tried the first component that same week. Not a big conversation, just one new question at dinner. Did you notice anyone who looked left out today? The first few nights, Samuel shrugged. Then, on a Thursday, he mentioned a girl in his class who always ate lunch by herself. Sandra did not tell him what to do. She just asked, "What do you think you could say to her tomorrow?" He came up with his own line, not the perfect one, but his own. By Friday, he had a name he had not said before. Here is what the research says in 3 sentences. Friendship is not a personality trait. It is a skill, built through noticing others, repairing mistakes quickly, and starting conversations with one small, low-risk line. Children are not struggling because they are unlikable. They are struggling because nobody has shown them the specific moves yet, and that is something you can start teaching tonight. Tell me in the comments, has your child ever come home from school and said nobody wanted to play with me? What did you say back? I read every single comment. If you found value in this story, subscribe to Raising Tomorrow Studio. I share one new parenting story every week, and every story has something to teach us. And next week, I'm going to show you the 7 daily habits that raise a child who genuinely loves to read. One of them takes less than 90 seconds a night, and almost no parent is doing it.